I'm live. Hello, anybody out there? It's not showing up whether anybody will show up. I don't have that good of a connection. Hopefully it's good enough on your end. It is Friday night Bigfoot pajama party, guys. Whoever just wants to hang out, hang out. Whoever doesn't want to hang out, don't hang out. Got a question? Got a statement? Got something I want to say like, hello, Tinman? I'll say it. Hello back. I didn't catch your name. My eyes are gone. It is Louisa. So it's Lisa. That's right, Lisa? Hi, Lisa. How are you? That's right, Lisa. I remembered from before. Not bad, eh? That memory sometimes can come in handy. Sometimes it can lead me astray. Sometimes it can really come in handy. So this is Friday night. You know, no holds barred. So if anybody has any vices of their own, or just feel like hanging out and chit-chatting, then let's do it. Any questions, any comments? Let's do it like that instead of me thinking that I have to try to carry a conversation. If you know what I mean. You're well? That's good, Lisa. Yes, I do live in Canada. I live on the western side of Canada. An hour out of Vancouver, I'd say. Beautiful little place. Live just right next to one of our big rivers that really feeds down towards the Pacific Ocean by Vancouver. Part of the reason why it's such a hustling city is there is because of the water, the ports and such. Gotta see where my finger go up there so I can do this side this time. Oh, hi Karen, how are you? Just hanging out. Did you watch those videos I put up tonight? It's hard for people to believe. It's really hard for people to believe, but what else is it? You guys, I've left, I put up videos of, that's good, Karen. Of that whole, just not thinking, but that roadway and stuff of, what did I call it? I can't remember, but, where the Bigfoot tricked me or something like that. Yeah, it's just crazy. And tonight, like, that mule, remember I don't know if you've heard this, but I've talked about that fake jackass donkey, crazy call. And if you really do listen in it, I don't know if you can pick it up on with headphones or not, but there's more than one there. Again, but when you're listening live, you for sure can break them up. But because you can hear when the second ones are trying to come in with their noise. But when it's on this system, hopefully people can check that out. I got myself a coffee. Put it like this, no advertising, so they can't somehow take my, I was going to make a joke like my 50 cents or something like that, but I tell you, man, YouTube is ripping me off. They're ripping me off. There's no other way to put it. You know, I watch these other videos. I don't know if you guys see it, but there's a number of videos out there where they're like 50,000 views, 100,000 views, all this crazy stuff. Thank you very much for the thumbs ups. And you know, you go and watch them, and it's just that repeat stuff. Not that we don't get something out of our repeat stuff, but I'm hoping the people that are also researchers and are watching me are trying to take some of my understandings into consideration. And having said that, I don't know why I was saying that. That was part of the thing, Karen. I'm not supposed to be running the conversation. It's supposed to be, you know, you guys typing, saying stuff, and keeping the conversation going. And cheers all. A coffee. I don't have very many coffees anymore. It seems to upset my stomach a bit, but you know, it's a Friday night, and I don't know how you ladies are out there, but I can't lose that Friday and Saturday. I can lose it. Like I can be in bed, no problem already. But just that thrill of it, of a Friday night or something like that, is still a fun thing. So tonight I felt like the adventure. I hadn't been up quite long enough. I like to stay up so many hours, make sure I'm not oversleeping, you know, and it's winter up here. It's very easy to realize that hibernating isn't a bad thing, like how the bears do it and stuff. Even when they do it on a low pace, they don't necessarily do always full hibernates. You know, sometimes it ends up being they're awake so many hours of the day inside where they're hibernating, and you know, different things going on. Different species of things wake up and will eat and then go back into their hibernating state and stuff. So I think us humans, it's okay for us to be willing to understand that maybe you do require more sleep in the winter, and don't worry necessarily so much about that lacking of the sun thing, thinking that that's bringing you down. Maybe you think about it that you just need more of that time in that time. Oh, here we go. Lisa is saying, do you think Bigfoot kills people and eats them? How come you had to say it like that, Lisa? You sure you're a Lisa and you're not the husband Lewis right now? Do I think that? I don't know. I hope not. I really hope not. I know you're Lisa. I was just teasing. I was saying, kind of teasing, like that was a question more from a man than a woman, right? So the killing, if Bigfoot's willing to kill a human being and then eat them, I would imagine yes. If I'm going to use just my imagination in there, but I don't have anything that backs me really with that part of it, with my knowledge. Not to say that some of these stories, when people are telling certain stories about humans and stuff, I'm not saying that I would not lean towards believing them. I'm on the hot seat for that. I'm worried about that. That's part of the reason why I do what I do this and how I do it this way. And my devotion to this is to find out if they're harming human beings, if they're stealing us at least, at the minimum. You know, there's that lady over just in the town next to me that went missing approximately a year ago. Maybe over a year now, somewhere around a year ago. Maybe it's just in January or something, but close to a year ago. She was pregnant, and she went missing. So really 2 people went missing. And as far as I understand it, there was never any clues. So 2 different things could have happened if you ask me. I say the big-footed creatures somehow are involved in it, or that somehow a vehicle was able to get in there, pick up this lady, and they left no traces for the police to be able to, the detectives to be able to follow that at all. So, and that's how it's gotten away scot-free where there's no evidence. So I'm just looking at it like that. Unless a UFO, if that is a real thing and somehow a UFO got in there and was able to beam her up, right? So I don't know what I would think about that UFO beaming me up kind of stuff. I have no thoughts towards that kind of stuff, but people talk about it enough. That's why I thought I would throw that out there for those kind of minds, if they like that, like thinking about that. So Lisa is saying, just because the things people say, like the David Paulides stuff. Yeah, I don't know what David stuff is. What is David stuff? Is that a channel and he has some pretty strong opinions, or? The missing 411 books. I don't know what you're referring to there, Lisa. Maybe you could give me just a point form of what that's referring to, if it's referring still to Bigfoot. I'm assuming it's on that level of conversation, and some stuff had gone on with that. So you guys can all see where I'm parked. I'm just gonna be rude and have a little bit of a smoke here. He's an ex-cop. Oh, okay. Okay, so yes. Okay, so what did you say his name was again? Okay, that's the guy then, okay. There could be a couple of ex-cops, but there is one ex-cop that I know I've seen him a bit and stuff and heard about him and stuff. I'd really like to talk with him. I'm excited enough, and he wrote books, and yeah, okay. Paulides, something like that, eh? I am going to, that's why I want to be a bigger, where this thing needs to there needs to become some organizations where real stuff is going down, real phone calls, real hooking things together and stuff. I don't have a problem working towards these solutions, hanging out, and different things, but I'm just not that great. I'm making the ball work on all of that and getting it rolling. That's why I look forward to someday actually being somehow part of an organization, but being able to just mostly fulfill my job and assist however I'm able to in other people's jobs. Kind of like what you're saying right now, talking about Paul there. That was what his first name was, right? David. That's right. David, and Yeah, see, like already, I mean, the thing wasn't up in front of my face, so my name, I was remembering a different name, so. Kind of shows. How is the connection there, guys? Is it alright? So you're saying your dad saw, Lisa's saying, her dad saw Bigfoot twice, and you heard it, you think. I also was chased out of the forest by something human-shaped in a tree. Scared me to death. I gotcha. Sounds pretty authentic, especially for what's really going on out there now. Connection's good, thank you. Where are you at, Lisa? You've probably already told me, but I'm not recalling. Seattle. Yeah, I think I am recalling that a bit. I think you did tell me. Do you remember telling me? I think you did. Yeah, you got lots of action over there. See, they don't have a problem coming across the borders. You grew up in Spokane? Montana. Nice. Perfect. I switched you around just in time. Look at who just pulled in front of us. Some gangster is probably going to pull out a gat and start shooting at me. You were chased when you were in Idaho. So you were in the forest. You were out there, I'm assuming, on your own somewhat. Going in a little bit deep. Were you in there looking for Sasquatch and Bigfoot? You know, the cool thing is, because none of this writing that you're doing right now comes up. Hello, Karen. You're still hanging around. That's why you're saying, well, cool. So, yeah, so none of your writing or anything comes up on the later. So right now I could be putting in, what are you guys talking about? My beard looks so awesome. Why are you saying all that stuff? Just having fun. So Lisa is saying, no, I was a teenager and snuck out. I'm going to tell your father. What's your father's phone number? I'm sure you've told them. You're having streaming problems? Is it because of me? Got a laugh out of you, did I, Karen? Cool. It's that beard bit, eh? Actually, I'm happy with my beard right now. It's kind of come to a spot where, you know, I've looked at it, and because I don't get, you know, I'm not, you know, living how I live, I'm not able to take care of this thing. This is one of the things that I would like to take care of the most on me, is I'd like to try to get my beard going like this, but the way I live and stuff, I'm brutal on it, so it's always getting broken and whatever you do there. Buffering, you lost me too, eh? I could turn around. How about if I tried even just doing this then? And see if I point us better that way. Wonder if I should. Yeah, I could turn it around. Did that change it at all? Making me crooked. I'm going to turn the car around. So hang on for the ride, folks. do a little good so far. Well, we'll do a shuffle here. So I'm going to just lay you down like this. You can look into the sky. It's not like I'm doing this well or anything. I'm just making it work. Bloop. Back. You should increase. And I get to shut off that. Oh. Yeah. I just didn't want to be backed in because, I like to be able to see if anybody's coming up from behind me, but this works. I got my mirrors and got my protection. Anybody out there still? So I got my coffee going. Grabbed myself a donut. So, where is my book? I've been taking some pretty good notes. And tonight, I almost, I've got those videos that I put up, those 4 clips. 2 or 3 of them are from one video, I think. 2 of them from one video, and 2 from another video, and 1 from another video. I think there's probably 3 or 4, what do you call it? I should be getting, and it's even going into red now. Should be showing very good. This dang thing, eh? Yeah, I was just starting to take notes. That's all I was going to do, was just take notes. And at first I was writing in the dark, and my notes were coming out all crooked. Then I decided to turn on the light, and my notes started to become out nicer and stuff. There was a little bit of noise going on, not too much. And the donkey thing had already gone on once. And so I was, lots of times that, you end up thinking, you're going to go to these troubles and set up different and get your attitude going different and stuff. And then they'll disappear on you or something, right? But I thought to myself, nah, I'm going to grab my camera and just go out and stuff. And so just this cell camera. So I use the light of its own, of the screen, to illuminate. And I use that kind of as like it's my light. Try to give an impression that that's just a light. And then I put it up on the roof of my car. And I put my coffee in front of the, so obviously the screen's right here, put the coffee right there. And this thing all illuminates up. And yeah, and I kind of use that, and then it's sitting on my car. And it's not so much of a concentration for them to think, why is he thinking about that thing so much? For one thing, when we're walking around with our cameras, and the camera really is in our hand compared to sitting back there on a bench or something, or not being on at all. But when it's in your hand, you're acting different. You're not as comfortable. Or maybe some of us get pretty comfortable, but it's hard to get super comfortable when you still have that camera in your hand. And because you're doing, you got to really make sure that you're, it's time to really get to the point of, we don't have to try to question whether we think the Patty Gimlin film is real or not. We got to now get to the point of trying to figure out what's going on. See, still not very many people are really questioning what's going on. You go and look at all these 74,000 views people are given to these different research videos and stuff like that, and so-called stories and stuff like that. And people are missing the huge equation here. Finally, my screen's cleaning up a little bit. It's trying to clean up. But, yeah, so I have been from day one. You can trust me on this, you guys, if you can. If there wasn't a concern going on here, I truly would not be doing this probably right now. I'd probably be doing one of my other videos or whatever. Or something. Like at this moment, I'd be sleeping probably. I wouldn't have 1,600 videos up in 14 months' time. And this is just approximate, guys, on this subject. I wouldn't have done that. If you look at me before, you could see my subjects jumped around a little bit. If you've ever lucked out and found my other YouTube channel that's floating around out there, you'll even see me a little bit different character there. And yeah, so the reason why I do all this is because I got a big concern, and it started to really open up after day 21 when I went to this other place and I realized, what? They live over here too? So then it made me think, well, if that's the truth, you know, they have to cross this huge river and these lakes and stuff, so they obviously don't commute every day. So that means this is probably a different family. So then I want to go across that bigger river. So I ended up doing that. And I ended up figuring out they're over there too. And all of that was the luck of my 21 days of my first hangout. See, most people do this. They go and hey, there's a Bigfoot here. And they keep walking, and they walk for miles and miles and miles, and then they go over here, and they do this, and blah, blah, blah. Well, I went into a place, and I thought, hey, I think there's Bigfoot hanging around here. So I kept on hanging out. I hardly even moved. That first day that I hung out with probably in, once I call it my jungle gym, the Jungle Gym Motel. So if you recall that and see that video at all, I only hung out on the one side. I didn't even at all go over to the other side at all that very first day. I didn't have a camera with me, or battery was dead or something like that. So the next day I returned, and that was the actual first day of starting to tape for there. But that ended up being where I estimate it to be around 15 acres, maybe 20 acres. But around 15 acres, and I divided it up into 3 5-acre parcels, and each section was named. The first section is the Motel Jungle Gym. The second section in the middle there is called the Valley of the Sasquatch, really beautiful and cool. And then on this section, it's up higher, and it was like the actual terrain's all lifting like this, and then there's actually a valley in that one. And this one happens to be the nesting kind of thing, and it was kind of neat because it was up higher and stuff like that. And yeah, it's alive and alive. So, you know what I'm talking about? Keeps buffering and stuff. You guys still doing all right? Is the connection all right? Anything new going on? Doing okay? Yeah, so That's one of my big things. Fires in California, yeah. Bad, eh? Yeah, I get you. Man, oh man. Bad stuff. Is there a lot of, is there any human casualty along in that? Yeah, it's bad. But the amount of wildlife, man. The amount of wildlife that's getting caught up in that, man, has no clue. One in San Diego, too, going on? Or one dead in San Diego? I hear you, that's too bad. But, when you look at the size of what's going on there, we've got some kind of skills of getting away from it, because that's just horrendous and huge. And if there's only one casualty, then we have plans. We have escape plans working out, right? Man. Hello. Hey, Chris, how's it going? Late night, eh? It sure is, brother. It's one of those times where I was saying it earlier. You know how you don't lose a Friday night, or you don't lose the Saturday night, that kind of feeling in you, even though if you're old like me now and you're willing to crash at 9 o'clock every night or whatever, doesn't mean that feeling has left me. So tonight's one of those nights where I decided, you know what, I'm cutting loose a little bit. Plus, I don't know if you see, I actually came back into town and uploaded those 4 shorts there. I will be uploading the full versions, and I suggest to people to take the time to listen to them. Put them on a good volume. Go about your stuff. And when you're hearing certain amounts that is just wicked, then take the time and come out and listen to that or whatever. Like the one where the latest one, the 4th one I put up, I said something about, or on one of them, I talk about the kids in there or something, the Bigfoot kids or something playing around or something. Like those, just imagine those voices. Like, listen to the guy who's going woof, 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 and the other one, and then they do this little hair scramble there where you can tell there's more than one of those little guys going on, and I keep calling them coyote, right? I figure coyote, you kind of say it like that. It sounds like it might be the old native way of saying coyote, so I use that as a reference that, maybe somehow they understand that word or, whatever. But they'll relate it too. Like, I swear, did you notice on one of those, if you watch them at all, I'm really concentrating sometimes on certain things I'm trying to get through. Like, I don't know if you guys notice, but those are finger snaps. If you hear those sometimes. So what I'm doing at different times is I'm orchestrating myself out as certain language too. Not just this, Even sometimes the way that I might choose to cough or something can even do it. So all the information you guys are getting back from what I'm doing there isn't necessarily it. When I on the one video or on the video there where I keep, good boy, yeah, that's a good boy. Well, what it is where I parked there, and that's that lane, that gravel road going off this way. That's my main playing station, just so you guys know. I have lots of fun with them all in the forest along there, and they hang out just straight ahead on the hump of the road there, and they like to hang out all in that area. And when they're going all that yippee-yappy crazy stuff, that's generally where they are, is right within that, where the road just kind of seems like it's disappearing right there. And that's only 125 feet away or something like that. It's pretty darn close. But anyway, so when I'm going, good boy, and stuff, I'm playing a different little spin on it. I'm kind of acting like I'm buying, because that dog barking is coming from the right. which would be your right, I guess. But there's a house over there, a rental house. It's up for sale and new renters in there. Didn't think they had a dog, and now I'm pretty sure I listened and kind of did whatever, and I'm pretty sure they don't have a dog. But there is the dog that's, you can tell he's, like, I know where the lights are on the house and stuff, and I know how to zone that sound if it's coming from the house. It's coming from more this direction where it's back out into a big open field or whatever. But I can't tell this part, but I actually believe he's closer even than the house to me. So that part is part of what I'm still trying to figure out, because there's ways to figure that kind of stuff out. And so when you guys are listening to those big dogs out there and stuff, I'm going to come right back to you in just a second here, guys. When you're listening to those big dogs and stuff, what you got to kind of want to understand is there's some ridges there. You guys seen when I drove out there, it just kept on dropping and dropping. So when you're hearing a sound coming from there, or coming towards my camera, and you know it's coming generally up that alley now, there will be, if you hear something close and stuff, when you know what, hey, I think Tinman's walked down that way, or walked away, I'm pretty sure he's walked away, and then you hear a little bit of whatever's around here, then you just have to use your imagination. But generally it's down that way. So when all of a sudden you're hearing that sound traveling towards the camera, and it sounded like whoop, 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 whoop. Pay attention to those things, because they actually will be doing what they're doing. And I'm assuming, okay, this one he's probably turning his head away, because we can feel a compression at times. You get a sound of the compression, you know, there's different things going on. You are 47, holy cow, you're a vampire. Oh, are you, eh? Sounds good. So Chris is saying he would love to come up to this neck of the woods someday, eh? Yeah, where? Because you said you were in. Sorry. Did you say where you were in? No, I don't think you did. Yeah, it's pretty cool here. Sorry about the connection if it's messing up. It should really be, it should be good. Ohio. It took me a minute to get that, because I wanted to say Idaho. I was always going, I was almost saying it right, but Ohio. You know, it's not like I've said the word Ohio very many times. I'll tell you that right now. And that knee, you're probably laughing at my kind of Canadian accent in it, eh? Well, listen to him. Ohio. You'll go to work tomorrow. Ohio. That's fun. Okay, Karen, what are you saying? Tons of animals and hundreds of thousands of acres of vegetation. Like wild vegetation plus probably farmlands. How are the cattle and different things like this, the agricultural animals? You might even be meaning that when you're saying the tons of animals. Well, you know, how the big guys get around from these fires, you know, one thing I've learned is they like heights. And they work together. Even though we've had different spots where we have solo hangouts where we kind of bust them. I think in most of those cases when that happens, it is kind of their hangout. I think in some of the cases, there's probably a lone guy doing some kind of a journey or something, and they're not expecting humans around there at all. And they kind of get busted in these different cases. Yeah, Chris, it would be really cool. You know what? At the end of the day, you know, when I'm looking at our country, and I believe I've almost heard so many different jokes from America, like all the Canadians are Eskimos and stuff, even though you talk to a lot of Americans and it's not really the real joke, it's almost made up stuff. But all those silly, really made up things start to almost have an impact on you. That maybe, you know, life is a lot different here. And then I go on your channel, and I go on that person's channel, and I go on this person's channel in China, and I go to this person's channel, wherever, and stuff like that. It is so incredible how much everything is so very similar. Sure, there's different species, and so on and so forth. And yeah, and we can't compare when it comes to like in Australia with their kind of wildlife thing and so on and so forth, right? But you know, that's a little bit different when it comes to mammals and stuff being kind of segregated on different nations and stuff, isn't it? But to have all this plant life, that is a certain amount. Like, I think what a certain species of tree does way up north here in the cold and blah, 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 and how it ends up looking and how it performs and needles and lays its babies and all that kind of stuff. That same tree could be in a different climate where it's just like a desert climate. And it was, you know, in the hundreds of years, let's go with, that these things have been teased and built and made and, you know, to handle all what they're handling in those changing climates, all that kind of stuff. There really can be the same tree species, maybe almost like identical, but they don't at all show any of the identicalness in it, really. You know, because if you think about the whole eco of how it's now being baked and made and its sap flavor and all that stuff, I'm breaking it all down to there. It would all be different because this seed's over here and this seed's over there. So that's part of what I see, that these guys in part maybe even be to that extent of what their job was. They actually did have those little bags of seeds, and they did go to this other nation and start to grow the plant life and grow their species, and, you know, kind of like how we'd done it, where we dropped a family off here in the prairies, and we dropped a family off, and the family wanted to go there, and they wanted to go here, and everybody jumped on that boat and traveled to this other nation, and so on and so forth, you know? So those fires up there, the fire is going up and over the mountains, and good speed, yeah. I know those are guys get on my nerves. Oh, first timer. Right on. Paparazzi. So what do we got? The Bling CNC? How's it going? Nice for you to join in. We're just kind of chilling. Nothing too crazy going on. My subject of Bigfoot just can't leave my mind, so I always end up saying something, but I'm willing to chit-chat about anything. And okay, so Lisa is saying here, with Bigfoot language, it would have to be different within each clan, and they would all look different in size and stuff throughout the world. Yeah, I get how that kind of stuff, but I wouldn't say that necessarily in a clan. What a clan isn't going to be like that, like break our country down into our provinces. You know, the clan isn't going to cover the whole province. The clan is kind of like almost it's a smaller community, a clan. I don't think, like I was thinking about that earlier, I was thinking about it on a tribal level and on a clan level and different things like that, where, you know, where their mentality would be coming into it. Different languages, different way of communicating, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see if how much of their communication really is through the voice. Yeah, you're feeling pretty bad for California, yeah. I hear you on that. You don't want people to be going through all that kind of crap anytime. Just got to have those good, warm, good wishes and throw out that good energy, you know, and try to make sure that you're staying positive towards it at the same time as them going through that. We don't have to necessarily, I don't know. Well, I do kind of know what I think, but... So Chris is saying your content is getting so good. Oh, you think so, eh? Thank you. You're showing their softer sides and their will to survive. Yeah. Thank you very much for noticing. Lisa's saying, of course. Do you think the Sierra sounds are real? And then you say you think they are. I gotta say that I haven't heard Sierras. But probably. There's a lot of I don't worry about other people's stuff too much anymore. Like, I do still try to dabble a little bit into it and look at people's, you know, what they're up to. Well, from the 70s. Is that when there was that bunch of talking and stuff? That kind of real deep basing talking and stuff? Could be that one, eh? Yeah, I think I know the... Yeah, okay. Yeah, those, you know, I'd like to, before kind of committing to it, I'd like to listen to them again and stuff. I've heard a few different things out there, but it's pretty trippy stuff. I think I personally haven't heard anything that goes to a relation with it yet. You guys hear on my uploads tonight, or you can hear noises coming from them. You know, can we go into different species and stuff, cultures, you know, is there different dialect? I don't know, but these guys sound kind of like dogs. And, you know, they don't trip up at all to ever at one point, to me anyways. I haven't sat there and totally honed right in. I got excited. I came back into town and I threw these things up, but I'd like to break into them more too. And so I was basically saying that I'm not able to break out their sounds so well to see if I'm hearing human characteristics or something. Have I personally heard the samurai chatter? I'm going to say no, I haven't. I've heard you, or not you, but I mean I've heard people talk about those, or that, the samurai chatter. And I think I can kind of catch a glimpse in my mind here of what it would be a little bit like, but I like to refresh myself on that. CNC is saying, looks cold up there, yeah. Ohio here also, and we're about 20 degrees tonight. Brr, yeah, eh? Yeah, it's pretty cool out here tonight. Well, you guys will probably see my window steaming up. Okay, I'll check them out then, Lisa. Yeah, with those barking sounds, the different yipping sounds in there, and also that donkey. That jackass, man. And I have talked about that guy there before, and I've driven there, and I've looked. Like, this is the thing, like, you guys can't sit with me on the investigation and really go, yeah, like, there is no way there's a donkey running around free there, and then me coming out and I'm challenging and you guys can hear me, and it's that path, that's that roadway going down that way. And yeah, it's some crazy beings, man. They're, I don't know. Yeah, Karen, you too, eh? You like those barking sounds? Oh yeah, the language that's very fast. That's right. That's that chatter, isn't it? Where they're going or whatever they're doing and stuff. Yeah, I have heard that. No, have I heard that out in the field? No, I have not heard that. I haven't heard anything like goes with that, or goes with the other one we were talking about from that 1970s style recording. Because there's also that American, that guy back east there, some big Sasquatch guy. I'm going to just give you guys another view for a few minutes so you can see the doctor's office. But that other big Sasquatch guy up there that in Ontario or something, it might even be Ontario Sasquatch or something, he has some of that talking and stuff too. Like, he might be the same guy that has the, I don't know, like maybe a 20-inch footprints he's claiming and stuff in the snow. Oh, is he a joke? Is he fake? I hate it when I get fooled. Not that I spend any time with the guy or anything. Is he, eh? Is that the guy that had all the voice where the guy was calling him, oh yeah, he was calling him Mike. Where he's going, Mike! Mike! And then maybe even Love or something like that. Is that same guy? Yeah, Mike. Because I'm referring to the guy that I believe really would be Mike and stuff. Not that other guy with the barn. I think that guy's an American guy, that other one. Oh, really, eh? Oh, well. Hard to trust people. It's really too bad. But, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I got, yeah, oh, well, too. Yeah, I hear you. I know what I know now, so. And like I said, I'm kind of worried about what they're really up to. I think they can be behind some of this, the people missing and excuse me, and different things like that. And because of that, there's not anybody who's really talking on my subject on the level of what I'm talking about it behind all this. And there's a lot of mysterious growing issues around the world that science isn't really coming to terms, and they're not really talking together in a group. Well, maybe they are, but they're just off subject. Yeah, who said that? CNC, yeah, that's right. Got to do what you got to do, right? You, Karen, you're saying you have heard a whoop sound? Well, I've heard sounds out of their mouths. You can trust me with that. Have you listened to where I've been, where that one was growling at me and stuff? Yeah. you have a growl as well. Somebody's growled at you too, eh? You have it on your tape? Mine's called I forget what it's called. But it would be under my 100, my top, you know, the playlists. My top 100 proofs. Coffee. So, anything new going on, guys? I think I'm going to start writing down some of my older experiences too, now that I'm getting further with new experiences. So do people understand why you were just walking through the brush when it went down? Oh, Chris is saying, I just watched. Okay. You offered the apples to Mama yesterday. Oh, okay, right on. So, and you know why I came up with Mama? Because my first couple of days of looking around in there, I came across a Mama bear marking, bear paw marking, and some cubs. I'm pretty sure like a cub and stuff like this. Now for sure here, I don't know, I was going to say within the 21 days or whatever, but now for sure, 100%, I'm pretty sure that was just them doing it. I don't know if I questioned it much then at all of being a fake. I don't think I did. I just seen this bear, so I had Mama in my head. Because we always think about Mama Bear, right? Or I don't know about you, but kind of Mama Bear is kind of a normal terminology, I think. So when I came into, at that moment of where I had my first face-to-face, and I'm realizing, holy cow, man. Like, I'm just realizing, like, holy shit. Like, something's really there, man. Like this, you got to kind of understand it, right? So I just, like, Mama? That might have been on 2 or 3, a few days later when I did that other one where I say Mama first. And this one, I don't know, but Mama was the thing that stuck. And in that acreage, it kind of just stuck with me through most of that. Now I've kind of dropped that where, I don't know, I'd call them something, but I don't know what I'd call them if I bumped into them right now, right? So, oh yeah. CNC's asking me if I've actually seen Bigfoot up close. Yeah, 100%. I have them on video. If you watched my first face-to-face video, it's only a couple of minutes long. There's different versions of it around, but it's a couple of minutes long. And at 2 minutes is when I start to talk approximately, and there's an ultimate kind of focus. It's where a focus comes in really good. And right about here, if you just look, and then and remember to look deep into there. Look back here. Don't stop your view here. We do this so much, like we stop our view and give things character and understand it. And one of the things that I talk about, so his face, you get to see him, he's kind of a side angle like this. And I don't remember which way the stick is bowed, but there's a stick in between my camera, which is here, and then there's the stick, and then his face. Well, this stick, more or less, is lit up from sun, just like this light's kind of lighting up my finger this side. It's lit up a bit, it's long, it kind of travels this distance like this. Well, and his head's only this big. And it pretty much covers his mouth. You get to see the shape of his nose. That's one of the first things you look for, is you look for these fairly big blackness of eye. It's it's the deepest blackness there. Then all this blackness becomes a little bit lighter than this blackness. He can shape out his nose, no problem. Like, no problem if once you The first time, there's some people who the first time they connect awesomely with it. There's some times where some people have had to watch it 10 times and they're able to start seeing, okay, there's his whole head. Like I've gone back to that video, I don't know, maybe 30 times. And every time I do go back to it now, I can almost add something new in the picture every time because I've accomplished that much. And that is the true image that I'm picking up. So have some fun with that. You can check it out, right on. I always get into explaining that much because it can be pretty tough to find things, and it's not whatever I'm explaining and trying to help you along to see that, you know. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that, but yeah, and at the river at the night one. You've heard, so at the very beginning, you've seen the face-to-face. So Karen, you pick out that little guy in there? So he's right about here. So center is so much my focal point most of the time in a camera. And he happens to just be a little bit down. You do, right on. See, and with what he's actually doing is he's sitting on either the side or maybe the lap of a bigger one. And to me, it looks like probably that bigger one's arm has wrapped him like this, and he's sitting there like this, and his head's turned like that. You can see his eyes like this. So arm coming down here, and then maybe a hand like this. You just can't see down on my belly, but the hand of this one might be there. And that hand sometimes, when I look at it, might actually be kind of sitting on the head of another one. So now that you're grabbing this one so much better and stuff, and you can start to see what you think maybe is the body shape and stuff, look down, way down where it would be around where the crotch of that one would be. So like this one, like I'm saying, might be sitting on the lap of somebody, so sitting up a little bit higher. And then another head down low where it might be sitting on the ground or something. And the head's around there. And then this big one that I would be saying here that has an arm wrapping around this way. And then there's more that goes on in that train of them right there. And then, so when you're looking right here, right off down in here, some stuff's going on. And there's one in particular head that's right down somewhere around here. I'm pretty sure it's a head. I'm not... pull my finger back somewhere around here. I'm not a guarantee in that one, but I'm pretty sure that's a head with a couple of eyes, and different times you get to see them at different views. A lot of my stuff right now, I'm looking at my 4-inch screen. That's what I do a lot of my work on. Or else I have my laptop that is only, it's in this bag, my laptop, so it's only a little 10-inch screen. Yeah, about a 10-inch screen on my laptop, so I don't get into, I don't have the technology to turn around and bring that little face-to-face one and just have that face up here that big. Be as blurry it is, or as good as it's sharp as it comes out, or whatever. That'll come. I'm thinking part of the reason why this has to be slow and nobody's getting the super stuff is because it'll be hard on the humans. It could be like all of a sudden just everywhere is baboons. You seen it as well, eh, Chris? Right on. Did you just check it out, Chris? Were you able to, like, if you were just doing it, I'm just curious because, if you just checked it out, and did you just see it, make it out that well? And, did my kind of description help you hone in on it? See, that's what we need to do, you guys, as an organization, I think my word of Bigfoot stuff is a pretty high value now, even though I might get some stuff wrong. Oh, no, earlier in this week. Thanks, Chris. And, but I only honestly will give it. I don't watch people that don't like. I kind of give a respect and stuff. I don't watch people that I just can't get into their stuff that much. And I don't watch very many people, really. I don't. Just make sure they're not coming after me. So I'm kind of saying that when YouTube first started out, like, I'm a YouTuber from the very beginning, pretty much. I was into YouTube within months before its first year, I think it was up. And I enjoyed it. And back then, we weren't as insultive, or way more helpful. You know, there was a lot more, like, maybe on other people's videos or whatever. You know, maybe people only watch 10 seconds of my videos or whatever. But the truth of the matter is, I'm cataloging something different than other people are. Nobody's talking about these guys that are, nobody else is using the word caretaker of the world and then talking about a breakdown of what they're seeing them doing. I'm the only person doing this, I believe. There's other people on a few breakdowns, but nobody to the extent of me. So, and you can see, like I said, I got 1,600 videos up on the subject or something like around there. And so when I do a video like those ones that I uploaded tonight, they're nice and short and they're pretty easy for a person to sacrifice. And then they're going to decide whether they start thinking it's just a dog, this guy's an idiot. You know how many people are going to be doing that? That this is a dog and this guy's an idiot. You know, tons of my viewers are going to be doing that. So when they quickly go down to the things and nobody's supporting it, nobody's adding in just a believer word. Like, you guys got to think of the believer statements that helps the people who aren't getting it and haven't dedicated and watched my videos, because my stuff is that important. Is that important where science, real science, has to look at my stuff. They don't need to look at most of our stuff when we're just walking around and we're going, look at that shape over there, and look at that shape over there, look at that shape over there. They got to look at my stuff. Not because I'm that good and I've showed it necessary to be looked at. Not at all I'm saying I've gotten there, okay? But I know from my heart that this is their trade. I'm talking about these tradesmen. I'm a tradesman. I ended up being on levels of where I could go and I could build that great big fancy building behind us there and help put all the stores in and stuff like that. And I'm not necessarily the guy who's going to build it, and he would have been building it anymore and doing all the physical tiring work and stuff because I'd done my time. But I could make sure it got done right and that all the inspections were passed, and that even the inspections of the owners, because there's different levels of inspections. There's the engineers, there's the cities, and then there's the different maybe inner level within your company or whatever, and then there's the owner inspection, and then there's the final inspection when the firemen come and all that kind of crap. And you got to make sure that everything's okay with that stuff. So this is kind of what I'm doing with these guys, is I'm busting them in their trade out there, and I'm saying, hey, you guys are not passing the inspection. So Lisa is saying, I just watched it again, the video. It's hard to see for me since I have a tablet and not a computer with a large monitor. Well, you know one thing about a tablet, if it's certain brands, you just have to do a triple tap or something like that, and you can do a zoom in. And then so that area that we're talking about, whoops, sorry, I was pointing right. That area we're talking about right in here, make that area this big. If your tablet will do that. And that's going to help you out $1 million. Like even on this one. Doot, doot, doot. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that I'm supposed to do that when you guys are writing. And then that way I'll be able to see them bigger. But if I tap this one 3 times, then I do a big zoom in. And I can just look, I can zoom right up to my eye, I think. But you see what I'm speaking about. Awesome. Kieran saying, was that you doing the night video and the face-to-face and shoulder appears as the camera pans in front of the investigator? Like my night, are you doing the night video? I'm not sure what you're saying with that. I hear you, Lisa. It's a nice option on this phone that I have. That triple tap where you can just triple tap it and do a zoom in. I can do that on anything at all. It just has to do with the screen. So anything that is able to be on the screen, I can do a zoom in. So it's really cool. You know, if you had a cut or something, you wanted to see how bad it is, you could just do it right there and be examining it through here. It'd be working as your magnifying glass if you needed to pull out some tweezers out of some slivers or something like that, you know. So I'm not getting what you're saying there, Karen, because so was that you doing the night video and the face and shoulder appeared as the camera pans in front of the investigator? On the night video, there's never any chance. There's no chance of ever seeing anything there. Like they're in black as black. Yo, how's it going, brother? You always use that as well, eh, Chris? Yeah, that's a great option in a phone. I like that. So one of my first things I want to remember to ask for when I get my next phone. Karen saying it was the investigation where if was you walking through brush and as you pan the camera along face of Bigfoot. Yeah, I don't know. Probably is. Let's say that. Yeah, that's the one. Still up, yeah. Oh, you're soaking in the tub, are you? Oh, it's a trail cam video, Lisa? Cool. YouTubing. You always get when I'm saying the wrong thing, just like the other day when, I don't know, you were talking about eating or something. I was way off. Got a coffee. Oh, I should have a donut. We're watching the dark videos, are you? Trying to get your head out of the squatch? Oh, they gave me the wrong donut, the bozo. Oh, well. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know it's kind of a drag that they're dark, isn't it? But, that's that, Mark, that's that, remember, just recently where I show, this is where the Bigfoot teased me or whatever, and I do that drive down that way. That's where they're all hanging out. Yeah, I can still sleep with that. Coffee at 11:30. Is that what time it is? I'm having a donut too. You do the same. Oh, that was Lisa saying that. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. You're buffing, are you? I hear you. I hear you, Herbie. Herbie the love bug. Donuts. Right on, Lisa. Not too bad. Yeah? First movie you ever saw was Herbie the Love Bug. See, I can put some things together there. I'm not very good at doing that lots of times. Right on, cool. That's pretty cool. The number on it was 68. Is that correct? On Herbie's car? Do I? Yeah, I was just talking about it's kind of in a look that I'm kind of liking right now where it's filled out. I think this stuff is kind of, I think what I was doing was I was doing a dip here before because these weren't long enough and this is a different section, you know? Yeah, you're laughing at the St. Nick part. Oh, man. See, that's the part I don't want. I don't need to be a St. Nick guy. Maybe if I have grandchildren someday, then I'll do that for some fun or something with my grandchildren. But other than that, by the time I ever get grandchildren, though, I'll be too old. I'll be a grumpy old guy. You have 7? You're not telling me 7 grandchildren, are you? Or are you telling me that you have 7 seasons? Holy cow, 7 grandchildren you have. Just show you the doctor's office there, Mark. See if you're ever out here in British Columbia, you can come and go to the walk-in clinic here. If you have any Sasquatch bites, you have to come here for tetanus or something. It's cold enough out here that my lighter's not working very good. Never sick, yeah. It's the best way to do it. You know how they always kind of fool us with telling us that we have to have all these different tetanuses if we're bit by this and that. Wonder what it would be like with these guys that we're out here hunting for, if that's not a stupid word. I don't like using the word hunting, really, but, you know, I'm just looking. That kind of hunting. It's kind of silly. My phone is telling me that the battery is getting weak, but I do have you charged up. Yeah, Bigfoot don't have vaccines. Yeah, but do we have a vaccine? Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? It's... Hopefully my phone doesn't end up dying, guys. But if it does, because I am charging it, so it might not be... It's just not keeping up properly. But, yeah. If one attacked you and then licked your wounds... Oh, who wouldn't want to be that strong? You know, you kind of almost think like that. Like if one of them bit you, bipolar bear, if one of them bit you or whatever and gave you some kind of little extra boost, or not necessarily bit you, just kind of poke you with their claw or whatever. I've talked that crazy subject about some kind of venom in their claw, but I haven't brought that up for a long time. I think how they stimulate trees and stuff, what they do with trees is they take on big volume of nutrition because of the stimulation that they're doing. I don't know. It really trips me out when I'm looking at what they're doing with the trees. Spider-Man, yeah, that would be the one. Bigfoot Man. Chlorophyll? Yeah, from like plants, eh? Yeah. That will be, they got something going on, yeah, that's interesting. I'm back. Well, I've talked about, in the past, I've talked about maybe some kind of heat-based... Yeah, that's right, Chris. First face-to-face with Bigfoot family. 100% of your money back. Do you want your money back? Because you can't get it. You just have to... I know you're already getting it anyways, right? But... Excuse me. So Karen was saying she's wondering about that with the power, with... I guess with the, with the plant life, she's saying, like the energy of what Bigfoot obtains. And there's something, I really think there is going to be something there. There's been times where I call it heat-based, and I'll still stand behind it until it's kind of proven differently. But almost where somebody's just coming and blackened tree trunks, and there has, and I equal out the whole fire and try to figure out where could the fire base, the same way that they figure out where a match started. Different things like that. You're breaking it down to find that spot. So you go through the fire and you try to figure that out. And I've done that a whole bunch in these cases and come up with nowhere they're doing it. Almost like instead somebody's coming up there with a tiger torch, if you happen to know that, or a different kind of a torch, and it's just going and keeping the charcoalness on an even keel even. So that's part of how you chase it, is you look where the charcoal is a deeper kind, and you look for, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, they got... So within that, I've said that crazy thing of I wonder if they just even have some kind of a heat ability in their hand, because I've seen a lot of trees that had been manipulated in such a way where I also thought... That's how we would want to be bending the trees, is we would want to be steaming them, heating the trees, sort of thing like that. Yeah, like the arch trees. You look at those arch trees and stuff, and lots of them have kinks and even in them, and those work as kind of almost like a strong back. So when the tree's growing, if you kinked it a bit like this, and then it mends itself, now it has the structural strength going this way, and then if you kink it again going this way, now it's got this weird kink like that. And that's a big structural thing, instead of that tree that maybe they were just going to originally want to bend it like that. That's why I don't agree when there's some trees that are going across and they come and cut them down and stuff. I think on some of them they should leave them based on let's see what kind of a mad sculpture that tree might end up being. Harmonic resonance. You know me. That was my video, yeah. That's right. That's right, Chris. First face-to-face with Bigfoot family. 100% or your money back. And then Chris is saying, no, I don't want my money back. Mark's saying, see that a lot. Yeah, eh? Totem pole blackened with burls. You know, I talk about them, they do totem poles, right? I think the natives probably, maybe, not probably, but maybe were influenced with the totem pole because of the big-footed creatures, because they do totem piles and totem poles. Those burls, yeah, because you know when I talk about all these cuttings and all these marks they do and how they're behind bark design, and you got to get into those bark designs and look at them and look where you think they're splitting and stuff, and start to study those a little bit sometimes and start to find ones where, like I recently put up that video where they were cut so well. They're just like it was just all cut out all over the tree. There was just all these little sections cut out all over it. And there's no being out there that's doing that. Anyways, so burls, what they are in a way is they're the tree trying to fix something. So it's almost like a scab within a scab or whatever type thing, right? So if you cut through there, what you end up are seeing is just billions of nickings and different things like this that are going on. In each case, I'm not going to say with that, but I know that I've looked at many cases of these things now where I'm out there in the forest, because I love them too. I think they're quite beautiful. Anyways, and I've gone and looked at them and stuff, and yeah, I've seen where I know our Bigfoot guys get some kind of pleasure out of making those things. So Chris is saying, I'm slowly converting to CNC bling on Bigfoot. We are a couple, and she is watching your video now, and she sees it. Oh, okay. So that's your, CNC is your girl. She is. There she is. Okay. Oh, right on. CNC, that's good that she's saying at 1:31 she can see the face as clear as day. Yeah, and then just remember that he's probably sitting on, that little guy is, I think it's a little boy of some sort. That's how I've gone with it most of the time. I'll switch it up and say little girl and this kind of stuff, but I think it's a youngster on kind of the lap of a big guy, or just off to the right of a big guy. I'm slowly converting. See, okay. Well, I think she's probably pretty converted right now, man. She's saying she's seeing a face as clear as day, so she's got to think to herself now. Okay, the only other thing could be is Tinman's pulling a fast one on us. Oh, so Karen's saying you see that a lot, eh? The totem pole. You see what I'm saying then, eh, Karen? Like, because I think these beings, you know, hey, what about that in the Bible and stuff? The Garden of Eden stuff. You know? I wonder what taught, like, That's why I brought up Darwin, is because Darwin had no case for nature. He didn't say anything what I'm saying. He didn't say at all how he understands why nature has done what it's done. Instead, what he said was, in 1879, Charles Darwin said to a friend of his, he sent it to a fellow scientist, and he said, the rapid development, as far as we can judge, of all the higher plants within recent geological time is an abominable mystery. By Charles Darwin. He's saying it's a huge mystery why the higher plant, he doesn't have information on them. He didn't give any information on them. And it's because of why I'm telling. Is because there's a creature behind it. And because that creature's behind it, he does so much confusing stuff. Darwin just couldn't be bothered with figuring it out. He wasn't coming across a bunch of junglemen saying, hey, there's a Sasquatch creature out here, be careful or whatever. So he started getting more and more curious. It must not have been so much of a thing back in those days. And for sure now, I would imagine, as smart as he must have been, he would be figuring it out, right? But how do you think that sounds? I think it sounds pretty good. Eureka! Saying that because your wife is a Bigfoot enthusiast now? Or your significant other? Unless they are gorillas in Canada. Yeah, I hear you. Unless there are gorillas in Canada. That's what CNC is saying. LOL. It looks similar, yes. Yeah, for sure, right? Isn't that unreal? You're getting an awesome view of them. Great. Now, you want to see something that's freaky and scary, you two. Bring up my video under my 100% things. Again, still like on a playlist. But he is called, I think I call him my big male video or something like that. And I have a short version on that too. But I have a longer version because I actually get him on video for over 8 minutes worth of time, where he's probably in the frame over 8 minutes worth of time. But he doesn't remind you of a gorilla. Let's put it that way. I won't give you any hints. If you read my stuff below it, then you would be able to figure out some hints. But he's just crazy. Like, and as real as what you're looking at, that one. Harder to pick up. The one I'm describing about the big male one, he only happened, there was that one in between, so that was about, because my first face-to-face experience happened on my 13th day, and the big male experience happened on the 19th day. Is that incredible, eh? In the same place, but they kind of look unrelated. But they must be related. He was talking about the tree of life. Okay, so natives use the trees like structures, hanging hides, and drying food. Yeah, I hear you that. I hear you. But the art of a totem pole, if you're getting what I'm saying, the art of a totem pole, how natives have come up with that, creating that art. Now the natives don't know, they just know that they make these totem poles, and they might have stories why they do it and stuff. But a lot of their stories were only just verbal stories. They weren't necessarily written down, so a lot of the stuff has to be figured out to be how exact. And so my thinking is the closest information that I've gotten, and it was from a local tribe here that gave me any kind of connection with what I'm doing and looking for the Bigfoot people. Was the local tribe said they referred to them as, from very old verbal stories from thousands of years back, that the Bigfoot Sasquatch are caretakers. Can't remember how it was worded. Caretakers of the ground, something like this. Let's just say that. I can't remember. I got it. It's somewhere in here. But anyways, why was I saying that? Because the totem pole part. Yeah, and because they know they're caretakers. Somewhat how I was trying to prove a point of, trying to make some connection there. But so like I'm saying with the connection there, I think it's basically they have a connection with knowing that Bigfoot has something to do with the land, taking care of the land or something. And they have this connection with knowing that they have this totem pole, right? Now I'm saying take the natives and actually go back those couple of thousand years ago. They picked up the reason for doing the totem poles because they would see how they hide in the trees or make that totem pole kind of a thing. And it influenced them to start the art of that. That's a thought. And because now we're for these 3,000 years, they don't remember really. If they don't know how to track them and stuff, they did. See, is in part what I'm saying. Like, in those years, I think they probably did have a relationship with them, and that's how they were able to say, oh, look, they're always doing these totem poles and so on and so forth and stuff. And then the relationship maybe got parted or whatever. And all those things that they didn't know about them, they've forgotten about them all. And I think that's what's being discovered again right now. Yeah. It's basically what's going on. So in other words, I don't get to be the first on this. It was already known. Yeah, for sure on the gorilla, eh? It's unreal. Yeah, recorded history and legends of the tribes. Yeah, I don't know. I would like to, someday I'll get into being able to study a little bit more into a couple of things like this. I'm one of these guys that don't have to study in very deep. Like, to get my thrill, I usually don't have to study in very deep, so that's an enjoyable thing. 12 o'clock, well, 12 o'clock and all is well. I'm going to call her a night, guys, if anybody's out there still. Peace. I don't know how this might take a little bit long to load up too, so have a good night, everybody. Thanks for joining in. Peace, brother. Stay out of trouble. Good night, CNC. Night, Chris. Have a good one. Thanks for joining. It was great. I loved the fact that you were able to see that little gorilla, man. It's amazing. Come back to that video again when you feel like it and start to spread your horizons like I was telling you there. Look in this area. Look when I'm first coming up there too, because something was telling me something. Yeah, you saw it. When I step out there, and I think why in part they felt safe, because that's the Valley of the Sasquatch. Really, when I stepped onto that path, I should have turned left in the flow of how they understand. Most of the people come in, they go left, and you go down the valley, and you look around, and then maybe you would come up or something. And they were up from it. And for whatever reason, I came out doing my little chat, and then something just pulled me and told me, there's something about this spot, man. So then I just did the walk. That's what it was all about. Like, this was all, and I did the walk up like that. That was all me just trying to get my composure, try to figure out, okay, what's going on here, all that kind of stuff. And then I started to come around and pan into the area that it was really all about. And then that's what we got. It was, and to this day, I don't know what really tripped me to go to that effort, but that effort really paid off. Good night, everybody. Oh yeah, Mark. She's ready to go hunting now. Well, you guys be careful, man. Be really careful. Don't be shy about having a dog with you, but keep your dog with you. If you do that, no more dogs running into the bush a little bit and stuff. If you wonder why, punch up a hunter. I don't know how he will come up, but a story from a hunter that his dog gets ripped in half. So, and if you listen to that man actually tell his story, you'll probably believe him, and you will watch over your dog and not let him think he's going to be a hero. Because that's the thing, some dogs might just find a courageous enough thing to do. Like that hunter dog had to do that. Like his master made him go into the woods. And he regretted it because the dog ended up dead. But there's a whole story behind that. Peace out.